leading the world, more tax cuts for the rich, and tariffs are the only way that we're going to be paying for it.
I think tariffs are designed to punish countries who subsidize their products.
And
for specific
Today's video, the show suddenly halts when Jessica Tarlov makes a critical mistake. Tensions rise as Greg Gutfeld engages in a heated debate with Tarlov over Kamala Harris's latest economic proposals, covering topics like rising housing prices, affordability, and drug costs. Gutfeld sharply criticizes Harris's approach, calling it unrealistic and harmful to the economy. In contrast, Tarlov defends Harris's record, highlighting her focus on middle-class struggles and policy reform. The conversation evolves into a broader debate about free market principles, government intervention, and the differing economic philosophies of Harris and Trump. Check it out.
Is a Kamala supporter, and he claims that this unrealized tax will destroy the stock market, but then he adds it's just a start. Doesn't look good for Kamala, doesn't it?
I hadn't made that connection. I wonder if she will take these criticisms on board. Ro Khanna is actually a surrogate for the Harris-Walz campaign, so it is a big deal that he went out and said, I don't think that this plan is something that should be implemented, and even if you're earning, it's for people over $100 million, but that it's unreasonable, and maybe they'll go back and they'll deal with that. But she did roll out a plan yesterday that was widely praised across the aisle. Varney was loving the $50,000 in deductions if you're starting a small business.
Jessica Tarlov introduces Kamala Harris's economic plan, highlighting key measures such as fighting price gouging and proposing the construction of 3 million new housing units. Tarlov argues that Harris is intentionally distinguishing herself from President Biden, particularly in her policy tone, by focusing on her personal connection to the middle-class struggle. She emphasizes Harris's upbringing and work experience, including her time at McDonald's, as a way to relate to everyday Americans facing economic challenges. Harris's plan also includes efforts to cap prescription drug prices and other populist measures aimed at alleviating the financial burdens on working-class citizens.
Any of you to listen to his answer on childcare and tell me what the hell he was talking about. It was one of the more incoherent things I've ever heard. He thinks tariffs are going to pay for everything. We know that they're a tax on the consumer. But this really highlights a big problem that everyone is saying, well, Trump is so transparent and Trump's out there and that's all that matters. What matters is the content of what he's saying. And none of it is explainable. This issue, which is a big priority for people, obviously a central plank of what's going on in the Harris campaign, he doesn't have an answer besides tariffs. And J.D. Vance yesterday was talking about just have grandma and grandpa do more, that's some sort of solution for people. He's going to have energy prices, drill baby drill, even though we're producing more oil than we ever have before, leading the world, more tax cuts for the rich, and tariffs are the only way that we're going to be paying for it.
I think tariffs are designed to punish countries who subsidize
but they don't work
their
that
products.
way.
Tarlov draws a stark contrast between Harris and Trump, positioning Harris as a leader who comes from a middle-class background, intimately familiar with the struggles of everyday Americans. As a wealthy and disconnected figure, she emphasizes Harris's focus on helping renters and tackling issues that impact working-class citizens, whereas Trump is depicted as ranting and out of touch with the needs of regular people. In response, Gutfeld fires back, arguing that Trump's wealth and business success lend him greater credibility when discussing economy, stating, I would rather listen to somebody who began as a millionaire and is now a billionaire than somebody who doesn't have a damn clue about economics. This exchange highlights their sharp ideological divide over what qualifies someone to lead on economic issues.
All right. Dana.
I'll take that as a victory, by the way.
You can have it. You can have it. I'm not that interested in the topic. Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
In this title for Musk, they have the word efficiency, which is the opposite of government. But I guess anybody who can deal with the biggest problem we're facing, which is the debt, it's got to be Musk. That's all he does is tackle big problems.
Well, I would love to hear Donald Trump talk more about that. Like I asked today, like, what are Tim Murtaugh was on. He said the president's going to talk about spending.
Successful car company in recent history. He helped change the lives of paralyzed people with these brain chips, and he backs Trump. Shouldn't that be kind of a message to the undecided that, like, the smartest dude in the world thinks Trump is the best choice?
Gutfeld criticizes the media for not asking tough questions about the practicality of Kamala Harris's policies and how they would be implemented. He argues that the media is protecting Harris from scrutiny, allowing her to promote her proposals without being properly challenged on their substance or feasibility. This media bias is part of a larger trend where Harris is supported, but her policies lack depth and real solutions. He claims that Harris's ineffective campaign and disconnect from economic reality have inadvertently become a form of advertising for Trump, as her weak policy proposals and poor performances make Trump appear more confident by comparison. Throughout the segment, there's a consistent theme of disappointment regarding Harris's record in office. Gutfeld and others express skepticism about her ability to deliver on many of her promises despite her years in office. They argue that she is now campaigning on issues she had the opportunity to address but failed to do so, such as rising prices. Gutfeld emphasizes that Harris's inaction on these issues while in office makes her current campaign rhetoric seem hollow and insincere. The panel repeatedly returns to the idea that Harris has had the chance to make meaningful changes, yet her record shows that she has not done enough to tackle the issues she is now highlighting in her campaign.